Well, I'd like to welcome you all to UCLA's campus. In our language, we would say bonjour, and that would be a welcoming hello to you. So we welcome you to better understand what UCLA has to offer you as a future student here, as well as it's offered us while we're here at UCLA.
I'm an English major, American Indian Studies minor, and I'm a member of the Pueblo of San Ildefonso, and I'm Navajo.
I'm enrolled Nez Perce, but I'm also Navajo. I'm from Kamiah, Idaho, grew up on the Nez Perce Reservation, and I'm a first-year graduate student here at UCLA.
My major is American Indian Studies with a minor in theater, and I am a third-year transfer student.
Usually law school students are here for 3 years. The reason why I'm here for 4 is because I'm also getting my master's in federal Indian law. I belong to the Pueblo tribe of San Juan, New Mexico.
I'm a third-year doctoral student in the School of Nursing at UCLA, and I'm a member of the Choctaw tribe.
My name is Jared Dunlap, and I'm a current senior studying American Indian Studies and pre-medicine, and I'm from the Fond du Lac Reservation in northern Minnesota, and we're the Band of Lake Superior Chippewa. And to the side of me here, hi, I'm the other half. I'm his older twin brother by 2 minutes. My name is Caleb Dunlap, and I am also a fourth-year American Indian Studies major with emphasis in pre-medicine.
UCLA was my dream school, my #1 choice. So I knew from a young age that I wanted to come to UCLA, and it just intrigued me more that there wasn't actually an American Indian Studies program here, and that there was a student association and ways that I can receive help and aid.
I grew up in a small Nez Perce reservation town. My entire high school had about 150 students. After high school graduation, I went to a community college in Pasco, Washington, transferred basically to the University of Arizona, and making that transfer, it just kind of helped give me confidence to go, because so many people on the reservation don't go. I mean, I never dreamed I'd be at UCLA.
I've always wanted to come to UCLA since I was a kid. I was inspired by a young woman who was a student here who befriended my family on the reservation. And I said, wow, that's the school I want to go to. So when I was at the community college, I decided that that would be my #1 focus, is to come to this school. And here I am today. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
There's that constant struggle between retaining culture, cultural preservation, language, but at the same time, I think there needs to be like a balance.
I'm a nurse practitioner and midwife, and I am interested in women who are pregnant. And so I came to be able to study women who are pregnant, who are methamphetamine users.
When I got all my responses back, UCLA was the last one, and my heart jumped out of my chest. I never realized that I would feel so excited to get accepted into such a school. Maybe I just never had hope that I would get here. About 2 days after I received my acceptance from the university, a person by the name of Virginia Meyer, she was our past president here at UCLA for the American Indian Student Association. She called me and she talked to both of us actually about a lot of things on the campus, and really made us feel that as an American Indian, we would be taken care of here and that we would have a home here. That was then that I knew that this was the place for me. I chose to come here because I could really pass on that drive, that passion that drove so many of the American Indian students in the past, and that will really hopefully carry on into the future with you as a student here at UCLA.
The UC system does a really, really good job of making you feel important.
You come here and you meet all these people, and there's 300 people in the classes and stuff, so it gets kind of overwhelming at first, but after a while it gets easier.
Everybody has been so welcoming, so inviting, and it's really nice to come to a place where you think of Los Angeles and you think of so many people that nobody's going to even notice you. And already I have friends that are reaching out to friends that may be here, and people are Facebooking me, MySpacing me, just helping me feel at home.
When I decided to come back to UCLA, I was afraid. It was hard for me to think about coming back to school at my age. Once I came back, all of that went away. I just had to make that extra step.
I found a lot of people who are really well balanced. They study really, really hard, but they know that, you know, on Saturday football's going on and we could go down to the Rose Bowl and we could watch a game and have some fun, or, you know, basketball's happening Tuesday night, we could all go down and watch, you know, our basketball team go for another Pac-10 championship.
I'm a big sports fan. I go to a lot of the football games, and this year I finally got tickets for the basketball, so I'm going to go and attend those basketball games. Just the name Bruin, it just seems like you're part of something, and then additionally being part of ASA adds to that for me. ASA is the American Indian Student Association, so it's one of the many student groups here on campus, and it's just a group of American Indians and other people or students interested in American Indian issues, and we meet weekly. We have projects that we run called American Indian Recruitment, which goes out into the Los Angeles area and tutors youth and lets them know about higher education. And our other project is called Retention of American Indians Now. So it focuses on the retention needs of the American Indian students, and actually any student that's interested, just their retention throughout their career at the university.
I can only say that I'm grateful for that group.
What I expected when I came to the university is that the professors were going to be really hard on you and just kind of be your professor and that's it. But they actually really care. You just have to make that input and go visit them and go talk to them, and you'll actually really get to know them, and they'll help you along your way at the university and beyond.
One of my favorite classes is the Federal Indian Law classes. There's Federal Indian Law 1 and 2.
Indian law is very much tied to what is taking place at the historical periods when decisions are being made.
I think before you get into law school, you think that law is all about following the law. And that's not true at all. It's about applying the law. When you study federal Indian law, you understand that sometimes the courts apply laws unfairly. And the more I got into it, the more it fascinated me, and the more I just love it, and the more I want to get in there and try to help out the community.
Through a research course that I took my first term that I was here, it really was driven home that research starts with a question that means something to you. And it's helped me and my brother to really develop research methodologies for Native communities.
One of my favorite classes is actually the Working in Tribal Communities class.
Even though I'm from a tribal community, this just taught me so much. I could say from the coursework that was completed that I could eventually go out and start my own nonprofit organization, go back into my own community and really understand how to run a program. First quarter was on Introduction to Working in Tribal Communities, and that really just taught me how to remember the respect I need to have when I go in and work with elders, how much time it might take to actually do the work, patience, respect, humility and just different stuff like that. And so even though I grew up on a tribal community, it really refreshed that knowledge that I really needed.
Basically, it prepares you for working in the field and working with actual tribal communities. Doesn't have to be your own, but it can be. But you establish a project and you actually get to go out and work in the community.
I would say that by far, the Working in Tribal Communities course was definitely the best and most rewarding class within the American Indian Studies major at UCLA.
School's a way for us to progress, for Native people to become stronger, more independent.
We come from communities that have immense health disparities. I just knew it was a must that I go off to college. And part of that for both of us was to go off into the medical field and to become doctors. Something that, I can say for my own community really hasn't been done before.
The benefits of someone who is Native American applying and coming to a school like UCLA is, number one, the faculty.
It has 1,000,001 resources of whatever interest or field that you want to pursue.
It's a place where I am stimulated. I'm stimulated by the people who are here. I'm stimulated by the thinking. It gives me a chance to be able to open my mind a little bit.
I always told my mom that I would find the cure for diabetes, and I know it really gets me emotional to say, but if the work I do now can at all help to find that cure to such a crippling disease within our community, then I think that means the world to me. So in sharing that, I know that those opportunities are here at UCLA, and for you to be able to grow and go beyond what your dreams have ever included. I know my dreams continue to be coming true every day while I'm here at UCLA. The teachers that we're learning from are the people that write the books. I mean, they do immense research in this country, and you should learn from the best in order to go back and give your people the best.
At this particular point, I'm ready to give something back. I realize that there are a lot of new young nurses that could benefit from the experience that I've had, and I'm interested in being able to learn how to share that the best way possible. So that's why I came back.
I think it's extremely important for Native Americans to get an education, because an education is really the only thing that can break cycles of poverty.
With my degree from UCLA in American Indian Studies, I would like to use it to not only go back to my reservation, but to travel and work with several different tribes across the nation.
Right now, my plans after I graduate include law school. I actually want to go to the UCLA School of Law, learn more about American Indian law, and particularly interested in the joint degree and master's program offered at the law school, which includes getting your law degree and your master's in American Indian Studies at the same time.
I definitely know that I want to do something for the Native American community when I'm done. Now, what that involves, I don't know. I am writing a thesis right now, and it's on Indian gaming. So I might do something with that.
As we're up late at 4 a.m. studying for our organic chemistry test, you know, we think about our people and all the efforts that they did to make it possible for us to be here, and that we can see them someday soon, you know, not just to visit, but when we go back there and we work.
Realizing that I do have an education, it gives me a responsibility.
I think during the application process, the biggest obstacle that I faced and a lot of people face is yourself. I think a lot of people tend to get down on themselves, and a lot of people tend to think, I'm not good enough to get into school like UCLA. I think it's always important to remember that when you're applying and people are reading your application, they're not looking for reasons to not accept you, they're looking for all the reasons to accept you.
Use everybody as a resource. Everybody can help with your application. Your personal statement, let it say something about you. I went through 12 drafts of that personal statement.
Don't be afraid. Ask questions no matter what, no matter how silly it may sound, no matter how uncomfortable you might feel about asking.
I didn't do it alone. I didn't do any of it alone. Everybody, my family, my coworkers, everybody helped me get here to UCLA.
What I really learned for myself was that what I can learn here at UCLA, and taking that time to maybe leave my community, was a time for me to gain so much education that I can bring back.
You won't ever know what you can do unless you move forward with it and go for it and reach for it.
I look back to when I graduated high school with only a 2.1 GPA, and some of you might say, well, how did you ever get into UCLA? And I ask myself that each and every day, it seems. But really, it just took somebody saying that if you do go to a community college and repair that GPA through the coursework that you do there, there is a way. I really did show myself, and I proved myself in as a community college student to really overcome those doubts that I had in my education, and really by hard work and motivation through others around me, and through family and relatives, you know, and my community back home, did I make it this far.
The worst thing that can happen if you fill out an application is a school saying no. If you don't fill out an application, the answer is definitely no, because they won't know about you. Just apply.